Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. About 6 topics for this video. First one, we find out that certain weapons should not be used in war, especially in dangerous missions, because they will, have a problem. So what does that tell you? That tells you the weapon sucks, because a weapon is made to work. You put it in a dangerous mission or not dangerous mission. So we're not going to take the M-16s in Vietnam because they jam. That means they suck. Buy some Kalashnikovs then. That's the first topic, which is Ukraine. Guess what? As I mentioned before, will not send the F-16s in dangerous missions. The F-16s. And I have an article, a video, to show you, I will not play the video, that I made a while ago regarding the Challenger tanks, the British. The same, remember when they were first put on the mission, the Brits, they were blown up by the Russians, and the Brits said, don't do it, don't put them in dangerous mission. The same thing happened with Abrams 1 tanks, I said it, and the same I said will happen with F-16s. Once they will shut down like flies, they will say stop, because they would show the F-16s are not as good as we claim to be, and the potential idiot buyers will not make a profit for us. So that's the first topic. The second topic, we knew already that Switzerland is not a neutral country anymore. Neither is Norway or Finland. Norway especially. Why? And Sweden. These were 3 of the, or let's say 4, I would say 3 because it was Norway, Sweden, and Switzerland. They were supposedly neutral countries. They are no more, factually, not, by interpretation. I will show you here. They are joining some NATO drills. That means US got Switzerland in its clause as well. Next one. Well, Zelensky tells us that Ukraine's victories plan is ready. We have a plan. Now, what the plan is? To win. We're going to discuss that one. It's so imbecilic. But Zelensky put together the plan. Victory plan. Not, freezing the conflict or... victory. What that is. Next one. Trump says he will meet Zelenskys. Good job, Trump. After all, you're surrounded. Anyway, next one. I will show you how the system works. The racket, which is politicians, businesses, in this case the arm manufacturing companies, the weapon makers in the West, how they get the money, from where, who benefits, and who is sucking dick. All right, I will show you. Why? Because Ukraine buys Indian shells via Europe using whose money? And that's one. And the other one, the European Union Parliament, removes any restrictions in using someone else's money to buy from private companies weapons and sell it to these guys on a loan. So those guys being the Ukrainians. I will show you the whole racket. It takes about 35 seconds. Next one, it's so easy. Next one, we find out that the almighty, strong, evil Putin is not all that. He's actually a little weasel over there, that is afraid of his shadow, and actually he's listening to everybody else. He has no decision-making power. Why? Because he is under the pressure of one of his ministries. Now, if you're under pressure, that means you're not in control. They should be under pressure when you just look at them. They will be like, oh, gotta go use the restrooms. Stress. All right, so these are the topics. Toppings. Let's start with the first one. Business Insider. Right there. Ukraine isn't flying the most dangerous missions with its F-16s, not because they suck. No, because the Ukrainian pilots, they don't say Ukrainian pilots, are still new to the fighter, US General says. Now we have a problem here. First, I don't think these pilots are Ukrainian. That's my assessment. Second one, all right, if these pilots are not good yet, that means whomever made them gave the order, so they are used, should be court-martialed because it's a war crime, or whatever it is. Not a war crime. It's just it's a crime. You set an untrained, supposedly, Ukrainian pilot on a new, for him, supposedly, airplane, right? Because as I said, I don't think that's Ukrainian fighters. I think pilots. I think they're NATO pilots. That's what I think. Do I have any evidence? Just experience accumulated with patterns. Look around, read a little bit, and you're going to find out everything they did before, they will do it now. Why? Because it's a war. So look in Vietnam if you want, Second World War, if you want any kind of weasel missions where they say we didn't do this, and they did, and so on. So if you send an untrained pilot on a plane to go and operate in a war zone, that makes you, who gave the order, a criminal. You should not have given that order. And now they are confirming they gave the order. That means we sent the unprepared pilots to die. To die. So who's paying for that? And nobody, because it would be like some American generals and politicians, I suspect. So that's the first one. If they're American pilots or NATO pilots and they got shot down, that tells me, because they're experienced, that the plane sucks in real war. When they can be shot at. Remember, when you use them against, I don't know, let's say Yugoslavia, or used about Saddam Hussein's garbage army, or maybe Afghanistan or Libya, and they cannot shoot at you, or they don't have the capability, you're all strong. When you have someone that can punch you back, you die in the first mission. The first mission, boom, done. So let me show you something else that I have here. Ready for you. These are some of my videos regarding the UK Challenger tank. And I said, suck, right here, okay? And then UK won't send more tanks to Ukraine after Challenger 2 tank. And I'm going to read what it shows. 2 tanks destruction, bad publicity, got cured. I mean, you don't see it when I put this, shows me the rest of the title. Here, UK Challenger 2 tank sucks. UK demands Ukraine doesn't use them in risky operations, like right here. There it is. This is the one I did. UK Challenger 2 tanks suck? Question mark at that time. I couldn't say suck because that was opinion, actually assessment. UK demand Ukraine doesn't use them in risky operations. Store them far? Yes, they say store them very far away. Doesn't that sound familiar with dangerous and risky? Well, excuse me. If I'm in a war, everything is risky. Or I'm supposed to come only like General de Gaulle entering Paris with the American military behind. He enters like he liberated Paris. He was first. It was not risky. The other guys pulled everything. But nevertheless, remember the Tom and Jerry? Those beautiful cartoons? This is when I was a kid. You had Tom, the cat, Jerry, the mouse, and you had the dog. Remember when the dog was behind the mouse, the cat was, so that's the mouse is the goal, or these guys with their not risky, and the other guys were the reality. I'm going to stay there and fuck you up. The same, the goal with the Americans behind. He liberated Paris. The same here. Don't send them in risky missions. Just send them in easy missions where there's no air defense systems or anything that can shoot at you, then you show up. And then you publicize that to everybody else. All right, that's that point. Let's go. And there is another video that I made a while ago when the first F-16 was down in Ukraine. There, I think I said they will not probably use the F-16s anymore. I think this was done on the 31st, August 30th. So nevertheless, I know because these guys, their whole purpose of these guys is to sell weapons and make a profit. That's why it bothers me when I see Ukrainians fighting their cousins or brothers, Russians, for mercantile interest. That's what it is. Getting access to resources in Russia, getting access to money and power through that. All right, let's go to the next article. Sputnik. Switzerland dumps neutrality as Senate rejects ban on joining NATO drills. That means Switzerland can join NATO drills. You're not neutral anymore, baby doll, are you? aren't you? The Swiss Council of States, the upper house of the parliament, said on Wednesday that it has voted against the ban on the participation of its military in joint NATO drills. The participation of Switzerland in joint defense exercises with NATO must not be banned. The Council of State rejects a motion from the National Council to this effect. All right, 29 votes to 12, and after a lively debate. Now, let me tell you this. My fellow Swiss compatriots, friends, if you participate in their drills, where do you think the drills will occur? In another country. That means at one point you gotta play on a home field. That means they will have drills on your country. This is just putting the foot in the door. NATO, that is. I mean, I have, I don't want to call them friends, but at that time, very good acquaintances in Kyokushin Karate. I went to Switzerland. I got my second degree, black belt in Kyokushin in Switzerland. And I went to some friends over there, and they told me a lot about how they have the automatic weapons at home and how they are have drills, and they participate, and depending on how experienced you are, how many times you go and train, I mean military train. So they are very much armed with military grade automatic weapons in their households. But we in America are freer, you know, all kind of, we don't have that, but they have it. Nevertheless, they are very much militarized. So if you try to invade those guys have the weapons under their beds with ammunition and everything. All right, so good luck with that one. So now it seems like from that kind of independence, NATO will just take you under its stinky wing. All right, now let's go to Switzerland. Showed it's not in neutral for some time already with this Ukraine war. Next one, let's see Zelenskyy's plan, man, right there. Zelensky states Ukraine's victory plan is ready. Wow, isn't his? Wow, look at that, man. The Ukrainian, right there. President Zelensky has reported the Ukrainian plan for victory has been fully prepared. Yoo-hoo! What does that mean? First, victory, what does it mean? Does it mean taking over Russia, pushing the Russians back, having they pay reparations forever, have NATO go to the borders, have Putin himself? What does that mean? All of the above? All right, they don't tell us. And I'm quoting. And today, we can already say that our plan for victory is fully prepared. All points. Oy vey, tell me about your big lie. All key emphasis and the necessary appendices, Jesus Christ, I don't know if it's the right left, with details to the plan have been identified. Everything has been worked out. The most important thing now is the determination to implement it. So that means the theory is good. Now let's see the practice. So what does it mean? You give me the money, you give me the weapons, and I will fight for you. And when we are all gone, you can push the button, easy button, for Poland, the Baltic states, Romania, and everybody else. Okay? Okay, because Zelensky is in charge of Ukrainian nation, and he's gonna have them all gone. Hey, don't worry, there's gonna be only the men. And when the men are gone, we're gonna bring from other parts of the world some men to have some more Ukrainian babies. God damn it. Like, we don't know what's going on here. Zelensky states that, and I'm quoting, there is and can be no alternative to peace. No freezing of the war or any other manipulation that will simply shift Russian aggression to another stage. All right? So, someone says total victory. Who are those guys with total victory? Was that a final solution too? You know. All right, so this is his plan, which is we're going to do it. What exactly? Top secret. I'm not going to let you know because the Ruskies are listening. God damn it. Let's move on. Now, let's see this guy surrounded by Zelensky Steins, what he's saying. Trump says he may meet with Zelensky next week. Well, what are you going to do? You have to sell Otherwise, you will not be around. Republican presidential candidates has stated that he might meet with President Zelensky next week when Zelensky attends the Ukrainian National General Assembly in New York. Probably yes, Trump said, answering journalists' questions about a possible meeting with Zelensky. He did not provide further details. I think Trump right now is doing this, to a certain extent, take his red panties, the tongues off, bends over the desk and waits for the prostate check or something. I think that's what's going on. And even with that, I don't think he will get the approval of these guys. All he needs to do is to go to Jerusalem, to the wall again, I guess. I don't know, was he over there? And then he's going to get you're going to be the one, go there. Or maybe Kamala is going to beat him. I don't know if she's been over there. Doesn't really matter. She's been in many places. So, and he being Trump, expects us to... I'm not saying he should not talk to Zelensky whatsoever. He should talk to Zelensky. He should talk to whomever. I like Stephen Miller a lot. If I remember correctly, he is Trump's campaign chief. I like him a lot, but still. Anyway, it's like you have a cobra around you. Cobra didn't bite you yet, but he's around you and he's going to help you, protect you from other cobras and mambas and vipers to bite you. And the cobra will push everybody around, but it's still going to be a cobra. Nevertheless, let's move on. Let's see how these guys, the financial racket, occurs. This is from Ukrainska Pravda. Ukraine buys Indian shells via Europe despite Russian protests. So what's going on here? India looks for its interest, right? Correct. So India looks for its interest, and its interest is get rich, make sure that my population lives a good life. So they do business without sanctions or no sanctions. So they don't sell weapons or shells, for instance, to Ukraine, but they sell it to Europe. And Europe being weapons companies that make weapons, all right, or in this case, is just going to be because they buy it through the defense, right? So through the defense, they send it to the defense of the country that pays with your taxpayers' money in that country, and with the banks, international banks, that will pay, they will loan for that. You're going to pay. Everything goes to the population. All the money is going to be taken from your pockets. That's what it is, A to Z. So they buy the Indian ammunition. You pay for it through the international banking system because your country sucks and it's going to take, your economy sucks, basically. You're going to work on a deficit, economic deficit. Only you're going to do your balance. Shit is bad. You're going to get the money, or you print the money, but you're not allowed. Only Americans are allowed to print money. The other ones keep their money in London and other places. That's idiotic. And like, instead of printing your own money, they print it for you. Why? Check that out for me. And then you buy it and you send it over there. And the Russian says, what are you going to do with this? Well, I do business. That's the Indians. But if the other guys do the same thing, these guys, sanctions, no, you can't do that. So that's how the racket's going to get on you. This is the first example. The other one that is linked to this one is from New Voice of Ukraine. European Union Parliament urges removal of restrictions on Ukraine's strikes into Russia. Oh, that's not the one I wanted, wasn't it? No. But nevertheless, they are urging removal of the restrictions on Ukraine's strikes into Russia. No, they want to remove the article I had for this. I just got the urges removal and I got that one. Told that they will use the Russian money that they stolen, and they will use it to buy ammunition for Ukraine the same way. All right, and here is the article I was looking for with the same picture. EU channels frozen Russian assets. Don't look at my fingers. I did some wine and I will tell you in a minute. EU channels frozen Russian assets to fund Ukrainian arms production. You see the same picture over there? The same baboons as this one right here? These guys are just lazy. The same persons. Anyway, the same will make it bigger so you can see the woman over there at the bottom as my head. Let's get my head out. Now you're happy. And I took that out too. That woman and that guy, the same guy. I took this picture. So they are doing EU channels frozen Russian assets to fund Ukrainian arms productions. The same way as they did with the Indians. Now, let me tell you about this. I'm dirty on this, on the fingers, on the nails. I said it in a previous video. I make my own wine. So yesterday it was a squeezing time. So you put all the from the first fermentation after you crash the grapes, and you let them ferment for about 7 days. You squeeze them and you get the juice that's going to turn into wine during the second fermentation. So use your hands and your cock and balls and feet to stomp on them. So very ugly anyway. So I'm trying to like this. But hey, that's the evidence of work. And since I have red grapes, I can't do shit about them. So let's move back here. So these guys are channeling the money. How is that channeling? They take Russian money in this case, someone else's, the governments. They use them, pay the manufacturing companies, the arms manufacturing companies. They will have orders to make a lot. They will make big profits because it's Russia's money, not yours. The other guys are going to get it from you with India. And they will send this to Ukraine as loans. They will not donate. And Ukraine will be also caught and have to pay it back. To whom? To the banks. In this case, no one. To whom? The Russians? They're not going to pay to the Russians. So it's looting. So eventually you're going to pay for it. So these guys are using someone else's money to get their arm manufacturing donors, all right, fatter with their profits. And these guys with that money will buy, obviously, shares in media, will have money to donate for politicians. They will have a lot of money to do a lot of symposiums where they're going to invite a lot of people to have some Remember, the ancient Greek symposiums had a lot of sexual orgies in them. Not going to go deeper than that, including philosophy. And you were saying what? So that's the way it was. Nevertheless, so this is how the racket goes, my friends. And the Russians should just shut the hell up. Now, let's see how Putin is just a little warm at the whim or everybody else. Right here. You gotta make up your mind. Is Putin as tough or is not? Now, obviously, this article was not made, or the title was not made to tell us that, Putin is a weasel or they are lying. I will tell you. But it's to show you that actually Putin has to and will announce new wave of mobilization. But they say that actually the Russian Defense Ministry puts pressure on Putin to announce new wave of mobilization. The Wall Street Journal, because you can trust them as the weather in, in the mountains. It changes every second. So what's going on here? We are told that Putin is the worst guy over there, almost as bad as, they tell us with a big, anyway, and we believe it because let's move on. So he's the worst and he's in charge. If you just look at Putin, he's going to get you like Navalny and all these guys, because that's the way he is. And he has full control of everything, we were told. Full 100% control and 100% of everything. And now we find out that actually the military puts pressure. How can you put pressure on him if he's like that? That means he's a weasel. Oh, didn't he change Shoigu? Wasn't he Shoigu his buddy? Now, who made him change him? So he's Putin a sitting duck? You gotta make up your minds. When you say this guy was how should I put it? The most evil guy in the world. He had nothing good. But hell, he had artistic talent. Well, he had something in the First World War. Like, I don't know, 2 things around here, one over there and one over here. Class 1 and class 2, that's bravery over there. Oh, you can't say that, but that's reality. All right? So, again, I am an artistically inclined individual. Let's put it, I don't want to say inclined. I know how to paint. I have that, all right? Or draw. And I look at some people's paintings and I know they are better than me, much better than me. And I'm more than average, let's put it this way, way better than average. You say, well, Emil, stop that. Well, evidence can prove that. Not only, should I show you that? For example, I will show you, just turn this, I will show you a little painting on my wall over there. Now that's me. That's Miyamoto Musashi, that guy over there. I painted that. I think I'm okay, and that's only one of many paintings I did. All right. So when I see someone in watercolors, Not in oil. I paint in oil. In watercolor, it's 10 times harder to paint than in oil. Why? Because if you make a mistake, you're kind of like fucked. Why? You can't dilute, you can't put over like the oil. You just add and you made a mistake, back, you put different oil and that's it. No, with watercolor, you're done. Because if you put something else, it again melts and you're done. So again, with this guy, is he, as they say, the toughest guy over here, or is not? Well, it's not, it's in between. He is strong, but obviously he has a lot of weaknesses. The same with everybody these guys portray to you and to us as, oh, look at Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King, blah, 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 blah. Well, we have a big history of a lot of stuff. The plagiarism, ladies of the night, orgies, communism. We have all these things. But it doesn't mean that what he said is less important. No. What I'm trying to say, take Nelson Mandela. I'm going to go over there. Nelson Mandela, part of a terrorist arm of a, liberation, They say, well, he was imprisoned because of the, those guys over there with apartheid and so on. Well, if you look deeper, his little arm of resistance blew up some buses. Go and check out who were in the buses. So that's why he was imprisoned mostly. Anyway, so you're going to find, you want the other one with non-aggression, not pact, non-aggression behavior. What's his name? Mahatma Gandhi? Well, you're going to find out he was a lawyer in South Africa. Go and find out what he said about black people, for instance. Or if you want, go and see how he was a hypocrite with the medication with his wife. When she was sick, she said, don't take antibiotics. But he took when he was sick after she died. All right, he slept to test his with minor nieces. He didn't do anything, nothing. But he just, if you would do that, don't you think it would be creepy? If you would sleep with your minor nieces just to test your strength that you're not gonna huh? Anyway, so we all have positives and negatives. Now, these guys choose to ignore certain people's positives and use only the negatives, whereas on other occasions, obviously, they ignore the negatives and they put only the positives. That's the way it is, my friends. And the sooner you learn that in life, the better will be for you. And since you're here with me at 27 minutes, I think it is, or 20 some minutes, that means you already know that. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.